commercial use. Bedding, towels, furniture, toys and games, video games, and home electronics like computers, phones, tablets. But just remember, those ones are easy to go over the $500 limit. So if it's under $500, the home electronics also qualify. So how does the reset that was announced on Friday affect this deduction? So I think we heard Dan say, and if not, he can potentially reiterate that curbside pickup is going to be unaffected limit. So sales that are on qualified items, so the list that we just went through for a qualified small business that we just went through, qualify for the deduction if the payment is received during that 24-hour period on Small Business Saturday. And then, so here's the technical details on how to claim the deduction. If you participate in this tax holiday and you're going to file your return, this is a separately stated deduction. So that means that it needs to be on its own separate line, separate from the line that you file all your taxable receipts. So you're going to use a special code, and what we're looking at right here is the copy of a paper return. So if you're a paper filer, you are going to have one line for your regular sales and your regular deductions. So, in this example, this person has a deduction that's not a separately stated deduction. So, for example, that could be consignment sales. So those all go on one line together. And then there will be a whole new fresh line for the deductions for Small Business Saturday using the special code D0-020. And that deduction goes in column C, which is the line for your location code. So instead of using your location code for the place of your business for these deductions, you'll use this special location code for the deductions. You'll file your receipts, fully deduct your receipts, and that's for the paper return. Now we'll go over to the electronic return. So if you use our Taxpayer Access Point or TAP to file your returns, yours is going to look a little different. This right here is showing what it looks like when you add a line on your gross receipts tax for the combined reporting system return. So this is the CRS1, and where you're going to use the special deduction code is under the location box, but this one's just a little tricky. If you select a county from the drop-down menu, you're not going to get the right location code in the drop box. So you need to use this check mark on the far right-hand side on the same line where your county is. Once you select that check mark, other special tax rates, it will bring up a bunch of new special deduction codes under that location drop-down. And then from there, you can select your Small Business Saturday deduction code. And the same thing here, you're going to file the full amount of the receipts and then fully deduct those amounts for the sales that qualified for the deduction on Small Business Saturday. And for your reference, the department has this bulletin out on our website. It's B-200.31, and it has the list of all your qualifying items that I just went over. It explains the small business. So if you needed anything beyond this presentation or needed this from our website, you can go under Forms and Publications. And you can also use the search function and just put this Small Business Saturday or the B-200.31, and you'll find the bulletin that will be there for your reference year round. And there's also a bunch of other excellent publications if you need reference for anything else taxation and revenue does. All right, and that's my portion for the Small Business Saturday tax holiday and the deductions that go along with it. So if anyone has any questions or comments now, or I can wait until after.
Hey, Tiffany, I do have one question. Warren from Farmington asks, with the shutdowns, how will this benefit anyone but essential businesses or those savvy enough to sell online?
Great question. I don't know if that's scared at me on the technical tax issues. And potentially Dan or someone from economic development can kind of talk about the tools that businesses can use to continue business during this time.
And we are, Tiffany, we're going to cover that a little bit in the next section as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just to reiterate what Tiffany's had mentioned before is that curbside is still an option. I understand it's definitely not as good as it's just a one tool to use, but that is an option as well, in addition to online sales.
Great, thank you. And I just have one last question. Will you send out the link to this video? Yes, I will send the video link to everyone who registered, and it will also be on the Tax and Rev YouTube, EDD's YouTube, and MainStreet's YouTube. Okay, thanks.
Awesome. Well, I guess, are we ready to move on then?
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
Robyne.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Also, just to remind people that if you have any questions, you are welcome to put that in the chat that is on your control panel. And if something comes up about the tax credit, Tiffany and Dan are going to stay online, so we can definitely answer that at the end as well. Excuse me, I'm fighting allergies, so I'm a little froggy, but we'll just keep moving on here. Let's shift gears and let's talk about marketing your business. It's all about being prepared, not just for Small Business Saturday, but even beyond that, moving into the holiday season. So we want to be sure that you've done that. And the first thing to do is to look at, think about is, have you claimed your Google business listing? Excuse me. That's one of the most important things that you can do as a small business to make sure that you have a good presence online is to claim that Google business listing. And it's the easiest way to do it is to go to Google and search your business and see if it's there, and then follow their directions to claim it. So we encourage you, if you haven't done that, that you do that first and foremost. And then also take a look at your social media platforms, because those are really helpful to any small business, especially during this pandemic. It's really been a great tool for people to use to interact with their customers as well as to use for selling. So is your information all up to date and correct? The contact information, your business hours, your links, are they all correct and working and good to go on those social media platforms? The other things you want to make sure you have in place are having your COVID signage, keep up with your cleaning, and definitely check into the certification. If you haven't done that yet, we'll have a link for that you can click on that and find out more information. So also, have you registered your business at buynmlocal.com? That is something that the Economic Development Department has done to encourage people to buy, especially gift certificates from our small businesses. And we'll talk about how you can do that as well. So the first thing you want to do to maximize your Small Business Saturday is to find your local small business champion. And you can do that on the American Express website, who is the host for the Small Business Saturday. And you just put in your state and or your zip code and find who is local. Typically, it's going to be your local MainStreet program, possibly a chamber of commerce, or there might be another organization. But they are going to, there's only one small business champion in each community who kind of is seen as the person and the organization to spearhead Small Business Saturday for our small businesses. So the first thing you want to do there is find that who that person is, that organization. And then you also want to be sure that you sign up with Small Business Saturday with your business and add it to the directory. And you'll have to create an account with your merchant information, but it also will give you some access to really great marketing tools and materials that they have online that are customizable that you can add your business information to. So that's a really great tool for you to take advantage of right away to get some marketing going for Small Business Saturday, because it's coming up fast and you want to be prepared. So under the public health order, as Dan mentioned in the introduction, you still have the ability to sell online for Small Business Saturday. And so I think that's something for people to take advantage of. Some of you might have stores and some of you might not, but the best place to maximize your Small Business Saturday is to create that online experience. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some of these, the Facebook live stream and a video, potentially doing a video workshop, using Facebook gift cards and Facebook shops, and then selling through some other social media platforms. And then if you have an online store, that's great. But if you don't, there are some other ways that you can do that. So let's take a closer look at virtual sales. So selling online typically would start with your website. If you've got an online store, that's fantastic. I would say gear up, get ready to go. Make sure that you've got your information in there so that your taxes are tax-free for that day on your programming for your e-commerce site. If you don't have an e-commerce site and you're interested in doing one, we recommend a couple of different ways to do it. If you're tech savvy and have a little bit of experience with websites under your belt, using WordPress with some of their plugins like WooCommerce is a great place to start because they have a lot, it's very customizable, and there are a lot of different templates that you can use. If you're not as tech savvy, that's okay. There's a great space out there called Squarespace that is almost pretty much plug and play. It has fewer templates, there's more restrictions, but it is an e-commerce site that's basically ready to go. You put in your business information, you put in information about your products. It will take a little time for you to put up pictures and descriptions and pricing, but it is definitely doable. And we've seen people set up their Squarespace shop within a couple of days throughout the pandemic and be ready to sell online. So if that's an option for you, we encourage you to get out there and give that one a try. And then the quick start for getting going on selling for Small Business Saturday would probably be through social media. And then obviously, most likely Facebook, because that is where the most people are. You probably already have a profile, and hopefully you already have a business page as well, so that you are ready to go. And I'm going to use Facebook as an example throughout these social media examples, but there are other platforms that would work very similarly. Instagram is actually part of Facebook, so it's very easy to also sell on Instagram, and there are other places as well. You might even have an online store through an existing platform like Etsy, or possibly even you're selling through eBay, and that's great too. You can always direct people from your social media platform there, and I'll show you some examples of that. So let's get going. Hopefully everybody has a Facebook page. As a person, you have to have a Facebook profile to have an account, and your business should have a separate Facebook page, a business page. And that's what you want to use to sell your product on. And in the next few slides, we're going to talk about how you can sell on Facebook, but I especially want to bring your attention here to the gift cards area. You can sell gift cards through Facebook using Square or Cabbage. Those are two e-commerce platforms for taking credit cards, but those are the two that have a partnership with Facebook. And if you go to Facebook's Business Hub, which I believe we have a link to in one of our other slides here, that you can actually just sign up for that and get it all up and going on your Facebook page to be able to sell gift cards very quickly. Facebook also has what Facebook Shops now. And there is, again, more information there at the Facebook Business Hub. It's a little more complicated, but you can set up a full shop through Facebook. So that's a really great option that they have now. And there's other social media platforms that you can sell on. I would definitely look at their guidelines and tutorials for assistance, because you can find help to do anything you want to do these days somewhere on the internet. And if most of the platforms also have great tutorials for using their platform. So one of the first things you want to be able to do on your business page, you can sell directly from posts. So you can post an item in and list all about it as description, put pictures. You can put the price on it, or you can ask people to message you for more information. This is an example of what Two Shabby Divas in Clovis, New Mexico did. They've listed this particular item for sale and have asked people to message them through direct messenger for more information on it. And they also use Etsy, and so they also direct some of their people over to their Etsy page, and also have run contests on their business page for people to be able to win products as well. I would encourage you to look at doing this so that people can either, again, purchase directly from your page. You can put a price on it and say, first come in the comments, and the first one to comment in the comments can get this item, or again, direct them to an online sales platform, whatever works for you. This is another example of someone who jumped right on at the beginning of the pandemic, the business closures, and they put on their image at the top that they were encouraging people to paint their pottery at home. They offered through their posts some special kits where people could buy the item they wanted to paint, as well as all of the paints and product they needed. They offered contact lists, curbside pickup for the product, as well as to drop off to get it fired. And this worked really well for her for a while, and then she got super busy. So she ended up creating a Squarespace store to sell the product on. And she had different paint kits available through that as well. So again, your Facebook page, your business page is a really great place to sell your product directly from the posts. You could also list things online, and this is a good way for restaurants to do it. They can list in their posts the items that they have for sale. They can put their menu directly on their website and then ask people to either pick up, or if you're doing delivery, you can also have your delivery information in there. It's also a great idea to find ways to interact with customers by asking them questions and doing polls in your posts to keep people engaged and find fun stuff. This was a great one that they were asking people whether or not they liked this stuffed avocado, and it created a lot of interaction. Another way to sell things online through Facebook is to create a private group. And this might be something that you aim more at a specific group of target customers that you're working with on a regular basis, or that are looking for specific items. This particular group that they put together actually has guidelines of how it's going to be used. And in the post, they list, when they put the item up, the pricing, the quantity, the styles and availability, on the shipping, how long it will take. So customers simply place their order by, in the comments below, putting their email address, and then the business sends an invoice out to that customer that has to be paid within a certain time frame. This might be a tighter fit for Small Business Saturday because of the time frame, but you could try it for morning sales and have them, they have to pay by the end of the day for that to count for your tax credit. Otherwise, it might be something you would consider doing further into the holiday season as well to continue your sales. The advantages to groups is, again, you can really pull in a group of target customers that you know are going to spend money or be interested in that particular item. So let's look at some tips for selling on your business pages and in groups. You definitely want to post a great picture of the item that you're selling. And a lot of times people prefer to see the prices. So I would recommend, if you can, to put the price on there, first come, first serve, get them invoice and get them to pay, especially in relation to Small Business Saturday. You want them to pay as soon as possible. You can also then post pictures of the item and have them message for pricing if it's something you're not comfortable putting out there on that post. You can post those items and also link to an online shop if you have items listed on Etsy or another place. And then hold contests. It's always a great idea to engage people. It might be a good way to get people to check back throughout the day that if you on Business Saturday have items going up, and like every 5th item is a special item, or you only have so many of an item that you want to make available to customers in a special contest, that if you buy X, you can possibly win X or get into a drawing. So you decide what is the best way to do that for your business, and consider holding a fun contest. Then also be sure to cross promote if you have an Instagram page. They love pictures over there. So you want to make sure that if you have an Instagram page, anything you put on your Facebook is also showing up there. And you want to use video and live stream, because those are the things that are kind of making our world move these days, in relationship to people interacting as well as selling things. And I'll talk a little bit more about those. So we are seeing more and more Facebook Live videos and virtual events becoming really strong ways to interact with customers and also to sell things. You could start with recording a short video that highlights your business products or services, and then create a live event and invite people to attend. So you can create a live event on your Facebook business page where you actually go into your calendar and you create an event that day. I'd recommend not doing it for the whole day, but maybe doing it for parts of the day to have, our morning sales event and afternoon sales event that people can come and participate in. Maybe you just do a live 15 minutes every hour or every few hours to interact with people. But create those live events, and that gives people can put that on their calendar. They can know that's coming up. They can also, if they say they're interested, they'll get a reminder on their Facebook that you're holding that live event. So that's something you can easily click on and do by just clicking on the events tab of your page and filling out the information there to have an event that day. Raton, New Mexico was very concerned about their small businesses and actually started early in the pandemic virtual cash mobs, and their MainStreet program, a local community organization, as well as a cash mob organization, got together and partnered to do sales in small businesses. And so basically it was just a business owner and the salesperson who was there to help MC it, because they were more comfortable in front of the camera selling product. And so they'd make a list of the products they were going to sell that night with the prices, and people could either purchase it in the comments, or they also put them on their Facebook page so people could buy them afterwards if they had not sold online. And we have seen huge success with this across our MainStreet programs in New Mexico. Raton has done very well. Las Vegas has been doing these, and several of them are actually doing them on specific dates. You can see this particular one had a date with a time, and it was a live stream on their Facebook page. That is something you could do on Small Business Saturday and get those invoices paid right away or picked up that same day, that product picked up, so that sale will count. As Tiffany said, it has to happen from 12:01 a.m. until midnight on that Saturday. So you could definitely do a cash mob for that day. And it could even be as simple as doing this Noisy Waters Winery and Cellar in Ruidoso did a Facebook Live event where they talked about their product, they showed some of their product, and they let people comment on it and ask questions about what, pairing things and different things. They educated people as well as showed the product. And they had great sales, not only during that event, but in the following weeks after the event. They had huge increase to their hits to their website, and actually created a whole new delivery program for their business. So definitely something that to think about doing for your business. And again, that could still be set up for Small Business Saturday. You have time to actually get that on the calendar and make that happen. So some tips for video and live events. you definitely want to do everything you can to get the word out to your existing customers to make sure that people who already interact with you and are loyal to your business know that that is coming up so they can participate in it. You need to have a plan for how they're going to get paid, especially because of the time frame that day, but to do delivery, shipping, or contactless pickup. And again, use the time to teach customers about your product and set up that event on your Facebook page that day to interact with people and give customers a way to see and to learn about what you're passionate about, your product and your services and your business. So I know this is a tight time frame for Small Business Saturday, but it's also information that you could take and use into the holiday season. Another just quick note on place to sell things. It might not be a great fit for Small Business Saturday, but Facebook has a marketplace. It's kind of like classified ads. So it is also another place that we're seeing more and more businesses starting to use to move their product because it shows up on the bottom with a icon on people's Facebook apps when they're on their phone or an iPad or something like that, a tablet, that they can, I know people that look at this every single day. So it's definitely a place you can sell items that maybe you're having a harder time moving, that it's more of, again, a classified ads for you to sell your product. So it's potentially also, I think, a good place to find new customers for them to learn about your business, because Facebook, when you're just using your page, it's potentially people following you and maybe their friends, but this is just a wide open out there in the market for your whole community. So it might actually help you to find some more customers. So let me show you a few of the resources that Facebook has. Facebook Blueprint is anything you want to know about using ads and analytics on Facebook. They've got a tutorial or a checklist to help you do that. And there's also Facebook has a commerce manager, it has a business manager, and there's Facebook shops. And so these links will be in the handout that's available. That actually, if in your control panel, there should be a handouts, a couple of things in there. And that, I believe, one of those is this presentation with these links that should be live for you to click through. If not, just go to YouTube and look up Social Media Examiner, or actually just search for Facebook Business Manager Setup, and you can find those tools, or for Shop Setup. And then that will really help you to get those going and potentially set up that shop if you're interested in doing it. So let's just look at a couple more quick tips for maximizing your Small Business Saturday. I know all these things we've talked about are on social media, but it's also important to use every bit of social media you can, not just that of part of selling it, but know where your target market hangs out and advertise there. Set aside some money to market to find those people. And depending on your customer, they might be on Facebook, they might be on Instagram, they might be on TikTok. There's all different places. So if you know that there's information out there on the web that will tell you about customers and where to find them and who the target markets are or the users are for each of the social media platforms. So you can find that and you can get out there and find where your target market is. Encourage people to do check-ins on social media. Although they won't be able to be in your store on Small Business Saturday, they can definitely check in that they have made a purchase from you that day if they buy something online or through your Facebook live stream, or however you choose to do it that day. You can also ask customers to take small business selfies with their products and post it on their own websites or social media, and then to tag your business so that you can also click through and like it and make a comment on it. And that helps to build your presence in those algorithms with Facebook. And then when you put information out there, there are some, like Twitter and Instagram are strong places to use hashtags, but we're finding them to become more useful on Facebook. So don't be afraid to use hashtags there as well. Use the Small Business Saturday ones that are out there. Use your business name, use the New Mexico Buy Local. If you're in a MainStreet community, we would encourage you to use the Choose MainStreet. And then there's also Dine Small for restaurants to be able to use those hashtags. And that will help people who are looking for those hashtags, because people can search for hashtags and not just businesses. And that will help your business to come up in those hashtag listings when people do that. Then also, no matter whether you have people in the store or whether you have working with them online, it is super important to always provide great customer service. Do what you can to make your customers' experience special. And people are more likely to share about your business when they've had a positive experience. And I've also found that packaging counts, especially if you're doing delivery with your businesses or you're doing shipping. When people open that package and it's just wrapped with your branded paper or a really great sticker on it, and it's carefully packaged, that says a lot to the customer about how much you care about them and the product that they've purchased from you, and helps to build that relationship between you and your customer. So that's really important to do. And then finally, think about Small Business Saturday as more than just that day, but a way to continue to build touch points with customers beyond. You can offer coupons for weeks between Small Business Saturday and Christmas. We'll see what happens with the public health order, but it could potentially be if someone buys from you on Small Business Saturday that they get a couple of coupons to come into your store in December and use that. Also, collect email addresses from everyone you make a sale to so that you can send out information on a year-round basis, because it's easier to build a relationship with someone that you're already interacting with than to try and find that new customer. So we definitely want people to keep coming back. We know, again, as Dan said, it's been a super challenging year, but we hope that the information that we've shared with you today will help you to not only maximize Small Business Saturday, but to think about how you do business better and interact with your customers online as well as in person. So we do have in that, we have a toolkit that is also in the handouts that will be available not only today, but I think you'll be able to get it with we might be able to put it with the video as well too. We'll check on that. Jesse's our technical person who can help figure that out. But we want you to have a successful Small Business Saturday, and we would be happy to answer any questions you have about marketing and or something else crossed your mind at this point about the tax credit or questions about the health order.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robyne. We do have a few questions here that I'll read out.
Okay.
So Warren is asking, with the staff reduction order, how are people supposed to manage curbside purchases?
Thank you, Jessica. I'll go ahead and take that one. So thank you for that question. So there is a clarification, specific language around this allowance in the public health order. So businesses are permitted to have the minimum staff possible on site in order to meet fulfilling, online orders and or doing curbside transactions. So there is a caveat there for those specific things. Retailers are permitted to have a limited workforce on site to meet that need.
Fantastic. There was a question about employee numbers, and it looks like Tiffany answered that, but I'll just reiterate it. They were asking if they have 11 employees, but never more at 10 at the same time, can you still deduct the tax? And Tiffany has clarified, as long as you employed no more than 10 people at the same time in the previous fiscal year. Tiffany, did I get that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so we'll move on. All right. Another question. I've had a number of businesses calling me this morning confused about the shutdown, but is it okay to continue to do curbside pickup and delivery, right? They seem hesitant when I tell them this.
Yeah, so it is permitted, and it is in the public health order, a section 5, I believe it is. So it is permitted. I do understand that it is. It can be a little bit complicated going through that public health order, but yes, the answer is permitted to do curbside and to fulfill online orders. Basically, having no contact with the customer, particularly inside the store.
Fantastic. Okay, another question: are gift card sales eligible for the tax credit small biz Saturday?
No, so, okay, I just want to make sure I was on mute. The gift cards are not on the list of qualifying sales. So it has to be the items that are listed in the list to qualify for the deduction, unfortunately.
Okay, great. Moving on. Clarification on the lockdown. So in order to sell online, businesses are allowed to have less than 5 staff on site to do video and photo for sales and to do shipping and curbside pickup, ? Does that make sense? So they're asking if they're allowed to have staff available to do sales and shipping and curbside pickup. And then I think Dan had already answered that they are available to do that. Okay. Another question, are service industries like hot air balloon ride certificates eligible for the GRT holiday?
I'm looking that up right now. That's a great question. I don't believe so. I believe it's just the sale of tangible products. But I'm double checking, but I don't think so, unfortunately. Nope, it's just on tangible personal property.
Okay, great. And then another question came in. Do gifts that include packaged food items, do they qualify in these categories as well?
I'm trying to see if that potentially could fit into any of the categories. I'm not seeing anything that would include food. That's a good question. Maybe if they could clarify if it's like partially items that qualify and partially food, and then I can look into that and get back with you. But just food on its own does not qualify as a qualifying purchase.
Okay, those are all the questions I'm seeing, and I'm also getting a note that people cannot hear me. So Robyne, can you just remind them to type in their questions in the questions tool?
Yes, I can. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat tool. I believe it's where the little pencil is, and we can get those questions answered.
If I'm going to try and see if I can narrow down who asked the question about the gift items that include packaged food, and I can see if I can get that answer for you.
Yes, Nicole's asking that, and then she had another comment. For example, a gift basket that includes gourmet food items as well as kitchen goods.
I don't know the answer off the top of my head. I'm going to have to look into that and get back with you, Nicole.
Okay, great.
Great question.
Okay, I think those are all the questions. Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Dan, do you want anything to wrap us up?
No, thank you, Robyne, and thank you, Tiffany, for participating today, and thank you for everyone for joining. Please, we will be posting this online, so please share it around with any of your partners or fellow business owners to get the word out about Small Business Saturday. And hopefully this was a good toolkit for you all, and please don't hesitate to continue to reach out with any questions or recommendations for how to engage at your community level, particularly with the MainStreet programs across the state.
Great. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.